Okay, so we've taken some time to learn some of the language. What is an asset? What is a liability? What is our net worth? We've also kind of defined what wealth is for us, why it's important to us. So now we're going to talk about budgeting to save. Okay, so again, setting goals and looking into the future. If you were to look 5 years from now, what is your goal and what would you like your net worth to be? And make that goal realistic, right? So if I'm going to college and maybe I'm taking on some debt, that goal might be a negative number. Or maybe my goal is to come out of college with zero debt, and maybe my net worth would be goal would be zero or just having a positive number. Um, 10 years from now, what that would that goal be? Obviously, take into consideration how much you're saving, maybe how much your assets are appreciating, what kind of debt you're going to take on over the next decade, what type of assets you'll be purchasing, right? Are you purchasing, things that are depreciating or decreasing in value? Or are you are you purchasing assets that are increasing in value? So just take a minute, write down maybe what your goal is for your net worth to be 5 and then 10 years from now. Now let's set some financial goals. Most people who have wealth didn't do so overnight. They got wealthy by setting goals and pushing themselves to reach them. In Anthony's case, he has two short-term goals. Save $3,000 a year for 3 years, so he has $9,000 for a down payment on a house, and to add $500 to his emergency fund in the next year. He also has two long-term goals. Save and invest enough to have $25,000 for his kids' education. That's a 15-year time horizon. And secondly, to have $5,000 a month to live on when he retires in 30 years. So again, whenever you're setting goals, be realistic, establish some time frames, devise a plan. How are you going to get there? What vehicles are going to use to save? And then be flexible. Goals can change. You're not going to reach every goal that you ever set, but certainly having them and writing them down gives you a better opportunity to get to those goals. So again, let's take some time. What are your short-term goals and what are your long-term goals? So hopefully you had some time to write those things down. And the short-term goals could be something in the next 1 to 3 years. Long-term goals might be further out than that. Be specific, be realistic, and again, be flexible. Those goals can change. We know life changes. And now let's talk about how we can meet those goals. First of all, one of the most important things is having a budget, or at least knowing where you spend your money. It's the folks that have no idea where they spend their money who typically have struggle to save towards those goals. When it comes to reaching your goals, are you doing or are you wishing? The difference is doers put action to their goals, and doers are much more likely to reach their goals and achieve their dreams. If you are a doer, you're more likely to track your spending, live within your means, stick to a budget, pay off your credit cards in a timely fashion, deposit money into savings, and make regular contributions to retirement. To maximize your wealth creating ability, you want to be a doer like Sonia. She's a single parent with one child. She budgets in order to live on her modest income and tracks where her money goes. Saving is important to her. When her son was born, she started investing every month in a mutual fund for his college education. She's a homeowner, has good credit, and never loses sleep over paying her bills. She controls her future. Gabby, by contrast, does not put action to her dreams. She has a good job, makes good money, and lives pretty comfortably. But her bank statement tells a different story. She has no saving or investments, owns no property, has no plans for retirement. Plus, she has a lot of credit card debt, lives from paycheck to paycheck, and does not budget. You can choose to be like Gabby, or you can follow Sonia's road to wealth creation by learning to budget and save. Again, a budget allows you to understand where your money goes, to avoid overspending and living within your means, and to find money for saving and investing towards your goals rather than just blowing it on anything that pops up in the shop window. To develop a budget, you need to calculate your monthly income, track your daily expenses, and then determine how much you spend on your monthly bills. So how do I track my spending? There's a lot of different apps to do this. You can probably Google some, budgeting app and find that. There's also great workshops out there that you can search and use. I know the Financial Peace University with Dave Ramsey is a great way to learn how to budget and pay down debt. So how do you track your spending? One day, Gabby realized that to create wealth, she had to become more of a doer like Sonia and plan for her future. To start, she looked at her finances to see how much money she made and how she was spending it. She set a goal to save $125 a month to put toward her wealth creation goals. First, she calculated her income, then she added up her monthly bills. She also kept track of daily spending, whether by cash or debit card, check or credit card. Here's an example of that through her workbook. Now, again, there's a lot of great tools to help you do that. Credit card statements a lot of times categorize where you spend your money. Checkbook or checking accounts sometimes categorize where you spend your money. If you're having trouble with credit cards, maybe use a checkbook ledger to write down what you're putting on your card. Just keep it right with your credit card or keep it in your pocket or in your purse, okay? So those are ways that you can write down where you're spending money, especially if you're having trouble with big credit card bills at the end of the month that you're not able to pay off. So let's move on to Gabby's budget. You can kind of see where her expenses lie, her current take-home pay, any overtime she has, other sources of income. Then we have her expenses: rent, utilities, telephone, credit cards, groceries, clothing, daycare, car loans, going out to eat, entertainment, and miscellaneous stuff. So you can see her current expenses, she's a net zero. Her new budget, she is going to save on some cable TV and internet. She's going to save on her clothing expenditures, gasoline, maybe drive or carpool. Going out to eat, she's going to cut back on, and then miscellaneous expenses. So that allows her to free up about $125 a month to help towards her goals. Tips for saving: save every month. Have savings automatically deducted from your paycheck or your checking account, and base your budget what's left. Okay, so we'll talk more about saving and investing in the next video. But by budgeting and knowing where you spend your money, it allows you now to understand how much money you have to put towards those goals that you've defined.